at this time, we need to take up general assistance case dash 25-6 for a cremation of $2,000.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Gross,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Ott,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes. Good. And we, at 9:30, we have a board of equalization, so we can take a couple minutes here.
That'd be awesome.
We will recess as the board of commissioners. We will come back after the board of equalization.
I will mute us.
All
right, we're back.
As board of equalization, roll call please.
Obermeyer,
Here.
Ott,
Here.
Burgess,
Present.
Bowman,
Yes.
and Gross.
Present. Open meetings law is in effect in the back of the room as well as outside in the hallway. Proof of publication for this meeting runs on the website and in the paper, September 25th. First up, review and approve minutes from the September 16th Board of Equalization meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Perfect. Any discussion? Roll call.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Odd,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. And adopt today's agenda.
Move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Burgess,
Yes.
Obermeyer,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Odd,
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. Public forum, anybody that would like to speak regarding board equalization?
You can stay here, fine. If you won't like. Willard Peterson, 514 Road 13, York, Nebraska. I'm actually from Bradshaw. Epic tax.
All right, anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the public forum and move on down through the agenda. So first up, we have a late filed property protest number 170. This is for property number 930045181. It did come in after the deadline. The assessor's recommendation is to deny due to the late filing. That would be my recommendation as well. So, any discussion or-
Yeah, Kurt, there was an error in his initial valuation, right? Something about
The effective age was wrong.
Effective age.
Yeah, on that.
So is what we're looking at here, is this actual, is this corrected?
Which
The-
are you looking at the property valuation?
Yeah,
That's one.
yes,
That would be what he had on his,
okay,
there's no correct value numbers on that.
okay.
All I did on this was deny it because it's not, it's filed timely. So,
I would make the motion to deny the late filing for this property.
I will second.
Very good. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Odd,
Yes.
Obermeyer.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. All right. So then, next up, we have some tax list correction.
do you want to take up the clerk
We
letter
can do
report?
that.
Is that,
Let's just
that
move-
remedies what was filed with the, protest?
Yes, so in front of us, we have a clerk error report for that same parcel, 930045181. And so you can see the change in value there. I believe it was a effective date, or build date or something on the.
Yeah.
We had a few of those this year, Kurt, it seemed like, from different, people I talked to through the protest season. Was that something that happened in the system? Was that human error?
I think that was human error from what we can tell. I
Okay.
talked to Vanguard and they don't know why they wouldn't touch those. We shouldn't be touching those numbers. Once it's built, it's built.
It's in the system, right?
Right.
There's no real reason why we should use a different effective age unless you're trying to manipulate the value to equal a sale or something like that. So we've gone through our residential, we ran a query, there was over 1,000 parcels that we fixed those effective ages on.
Couldn't be anything in the program that.
Entertain a motion to accept the clerk error report.
I would move approval to accept the York County clerical error report.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Obermeyer,
Yes.
Odd,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. All right. So now, these tax list corrections. Three of them in front of us. A couple of them additions and one a deduction. Any comments on any of those, Kurt?
No, with the reason stated on the forms there.
Thoughts? Comments, questions from the board?
Move to approve tax list corrections.
Second.
Okay.
I think I got it.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Bowman,
Yes.
Obermeyer,
Yeah.
Ott,
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. Okay, in last, in front of us, we have a discuss and act on permissive exemptions.
Yeah, so
Go
this
ahead.
one, this was a property owned by Region 5 Foundation. They sold it to somebody who doesn't meet the permissive exemption qualifications, and so therefore it goes back on the tax rolls. So what I'm asking you guys to do today is to deny this exemption that they filed back within for the 2024 year, Form 451 for 2024. Deny that, and then I will send the new owner a notice of valuation, so they're aware that they're going to be taxed on that.
Was that? Go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say, when was the sale? So this goes back on for the 25?
Yeah, so it'll go back on here for 2025, yeah. Anything, you can get in before the levy date, which is October 15.
Next
Then we can still put it on there.
Okay.
Move to deny permissive exemptions for Region 5 services on stated property.
Second.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Yeah, it's not, it can't be exempt because, or it's not being used for the same purpose.
Right, it's not being used for a charitable, religious,
Education.
or educational, or agricultural, or cultural reason. So, it's just,
But it was on before.
right, because
Region.
Region 5
5
Services,
over.
they were using it as a charitable, or a charitable organization, so that's how it qualified.
Mhm.
It might have been like a group home type of situation right there.
What was the address on the, I'm sorry.
On the property.
Lot.
You'd have to look up the parcel ID.
Yeah, it was illegal there.
That's fine.
15 feet, lot 2, block 26, college, ditch, city.
421 North Middle.
Thank you. That was what I So they're not using it as a group home.
They sold it.
They
sold it, yeah.
It's sold to a private individual,
Okay,
so therefore the exemption goes away.
all right.
Region 5 had it exempt as long as they owned it, but now since they don't.
That's fine. Since you guys approved it, you got to deny it.
Got it? Okay, roll call.
Bowman,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Ott,
Yes,
Obermeyer.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. Okay. I think that covers it.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, we are adjourned.
Okay, we'll come back into session as the Board of Commissioners, with just a couple things left on the agenda. I asked Mary to put on here the commissioner discussion once. And basically what I was going for on the commissioner discussion would be, we have our committee reports. We're really supposed to just talk about the committees we serve on. The discussion would be what's going on throughout the county that we want to talk about. We have to talk about a lot of things publicly. Any goals in mind that a commissioner may have, any hot spots that we want to talk about as a group. This may take a few minutes, it may not take any time at all, but we thought we'd put it on here once and see where it goes. So at this current time, we'll just go under the commissioner discussion.
All right. Randy, I actually got something that fits this bullet point great.
Okay.
If I can talk. Last Tuesday morning, myself, Gary, Sheriff Burke, met with some community members at Henderson regarding the interstate, the businesses out on the interstate and the condition of which they're representing not only our county, but the town. Through some discussion, there's properties need to be cleaned up out there. They're terrible. The way they're being operated. One of them actually was a property we just did a correction on for Board of Equalization. So looking at ways to revitalize those properties and basically just clean up some commercial properties. I know Gary's talked with an individual that's done this in some other counties out of Ogallala. Unfortunately, since Gary last talked, me and him have not had the opportunity to connect to discuss some future steps that we think this board can take to help clean up not only that property, but some others that we've had issues with in the past. One, I would Waco's interstate truck stop went through a long period of time of neglect, and just ways we can continue to keep our commercial properties on the same level. Looking at things sort of similar to what City of York does with some of their requirements for property owners as well. So,
Do we take possession of the property before we start cleaning something up?
yeah,
Liabilities.
yeah. So, yes, we would. In the case where we would end up obtaining the property, yeah, and there are grants and things out there. I didn't talk with Lisa Hurley that would cover those costs and cover some of that liability for us if it did get that far. Now, we're hoping to find ways to remediate in the meantime before it actually becomes something that hits the county square in the face from an ownership standpoint.
Is there a difference if the property's been abandoned or somebody's just neglecting it?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, all these properties we're discussing are all owned and being somewhat operated.
So there's no delinquent taxes or anything like that.
Nothing
So then
like
that poses an
Yeah,
issue.
that makes a difference.
I know that they've had issues, and this was talked about prior to me coming on the board. I would have to really go back and talk with Bill Baumsberger how it was handled back then, because I know that there was talk about maybe even Henderson coming out.
Yeah, and that's not a viable option just due to the distance and
Right.
some along the lines of potential a new county ordinance. Mirror something like York's got a couple ordinances in that address these types of issues. So unfortunately, that property is a black eye right now from an aesthetic, and a little concerned that there's some health issues that could permeate out of that because part of the properties are being used as somewhat of a business. So
Okay.
right now, if you go out there and look, the first thing that'll grab your eye is a flatbed trailer that's stacked clear full of nasty mattresses.
Yeah.
Trash and weeds blowing around the properties. So.
Well, and it affected the business that was trying to operate right across the
Right,
road.
yeah.
Because you associate one with the other, even though that one's not that one.
Right. Now that other business is closed currently and being used for truck parking.
So I assume, Gary, we're pulling you into this conversation as we're speaking now. I assume that you're looking into the fact of, is there any state ordinances out there, any state statutes out there that would allow us to act even without creating any ourselves?
There's a gentleman out of, I don't want to get the cart before the
Right,
cart before the horse, but a gentleman that would be willing to speak with the board. He is going to be at the NACO conference in December, and so we have tentatively agreed to have a meeting at that particular time. I don't know if that's at the pace that that we would like to move at, but that's the discussion that we did have. He did mention that he could work as a consultant. He wished it was a little closer to Ogallala. But we did talk about him helping out. It's a complicated process. The ordinances that the county has right now, probably we're going to have to take a pretty good look at sometime in the near future to get some, and I think that we're probably, so when these type of projects go in the future, that we would have a little bit more teeth to start off with than we do right now.
Yeah, it's nothing, from the time on the council, and that's why I asked about delinquent taxes. It sure helps when there's other codes to get,
Right.
but when the taxes are paid for and everything paid for, it
Need
makes
something
the
else.
situation tough. So, well, we'll just keep working forward on it,
Right.
you know, and seeing what we can do for them out there. Anybody else? Andy, I'm sorry, do you have anything?
No, that
else?
was, the only other thing I would say that's not really, I'll just talk about that committee report.
Okay.
One thing that I might bring up, so Saturday morning, I was witness to a vehicle accident out here on 81 and Highway 34 again, at that intersection. A pickup and camper pulled out onto the bypass, and the vehicle was coming, and so there was a collision there. So that intersection continues to be a problem intersection. And I know that not everybody likes stoplights. I know that the state doesn't like to put them in areas like that. I don't know that that would be the answer, but it looks like there needs to be something. One thing that I've heard multiple times in driving that intersection, and this goes for the one, so this would be on the north side where 34 goes east, but this would also be for the intersection where 34 goes west. There's a number of signs that are lined up there, and when if you have the perfect or the wrong, however you want to say it, vehicle, those signs are very blocking of your view. And so you've almost got to be out in the intersection before you pass those signs so you can see what's coming on. So maybe that's a conversation that we talk to the state about, having them move some of those signs. But I think that those two intersections are intersections that I think we need to continue to have conversations, probably with our sheriff involved in those conversations, with the state safety, highway safety guys, and figure out what we can do. They did add the rumble bars, which hopefully has helped a little bit, but in this particular instance, the vehicle, I mean, it wasn't like they blew through the stop sign. They were stopped, they were there, and then they went and pulled out.
Well, the problem with that the north intersection you're referencing is vehicles that pull out when they shouldn't are seeing the other vehicles, the oncoming traffic, signaling like they're going to be turning at that intersection, when in fact they're just signaling to change lanes to go down the single lane bottleneck.
Yep.
And I guarantee that's causing a lot of these issues. And I definitely would be all for both those intersections having traffic control lights up there. I think it would clear up congestion on the westbound 34 intersection, because you can get stopped there for 5 minutes at times, depending on the events. And that north intersection purely is a safety hazard. That's an issue. And I know
The north one is more so than the one going east and west. East and west is when people are going to and coming from work, and they will drive right out in front of you. You're coming down the road at 60 miles an hour. Because I got to get across the road to get to Clutie's or get to York, to get to work on time. They will pull right out in front. So, and the other one is coming up the hill. I mean, if they make it even slower, they want to say 55, because if the speed limit's 60, they drive 65, and if it's 55, they'll drive 60, and we know how everybody does. But that one's still because and moving over, it's exactly what you said. I see accidents there every month.
So contact.
Yep. I did talk to Janet Hughes. I was with her this weekend at an event, and so I did talk to her a little bit about it again. So yeah, we'll continue to have those conversations, see what.
Yeah, and I think we have probably some of our own intersections that we need to continue to work on throughout the county to make sure they're cleared back. I know I had somebody come pick me up and wanted to show me an intersection that was blind, but it ended up being the city one. And, you know, so, but they're out there. And so we need to pay attention.
Yeah, and so some of those blind intersections, especially things due to trees or crops, is part of what. And they're taking some of the right of way back on some of the crop ground that had been being farmed into, and then we're guys are doing really good trimming trees right now for the first time in a number of years. So
Good.
hopefully reducing some of those blind corners where we can.
Any other, Danielle, let's see, anything? Joe, you got anything you want to talk about?
I just got committee reports
Okay.
mostly.
Just a couple updates on, Brian met with, a couple contractors. We've been talking about out front, about putting the handicap, bringing them into the center. And he met with a couple contractors this last week to, hopefully we can get that done before, winter comes. And we are still waiting on our arborist, to come around here at the courthouse. I would like to reiterate, and I don't know if Andy, did you have part of this last year? With the veterans with the green? I know you and Leroy are on that board.
Yeah.
That is the, Veterans Day is the 11th, right?
Yep.
Mary, because of that voting.
Yes.
That's coming again.
Mhm.
And I know we were talking about possibly adding on to it a little bit, so that would be, if we're gonna do that, you know, those are hard to.
There's
If we could do something, I just wanted to remind, that we got a month, to get it more lit up and green. I thought it looked good last year.
yeah.
That was a good step compared to the year before.
The next step's going to cost some money just due to some
Electrical,
electrical and the type of lighting we have.
okay. So we used rope lights last year.
Yeah, well, so what we'd love to do is actually do green lenses under the lights. Problem is the bulbs and the lens, the lenses that are available in green can take the heat of the bulbs.
Gotcha.
That's why we thought we had an easy solution. It'd be really neat and simple to
Get some LEDs.
do year over year, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's not a cheap thing, but yeah, we're looking at some other things we can do this year to.
Okay.
It's one of those things we'd like to add on and get a little better every year.
Yeah, so like I say, we got a month, you know, and, because tomorrow is 1st of October, so.
Some of the things we might do is actually lighting that's inside the building or through the window.
Yeah, we need to, you know,
That could be good.
So that's there, and then arborist, at Aging Services, I had begged hard to help out a little bit. We had some parking issues, some draining issues. We tried something new up there, so hopefully that takes care of a couple of those issues. We did some white rocking for some more parking for the people, and built kind of a berm up by the building, and we'll see if that doesn't create some relief up there from that. That's really all I had. This month was more in and out, and I wasn't involved in as much, but it looks like we're getting rolling again. And it sounds like we'll have insurance committee meeting here this month and then going on that. So into committee reports, man. Joe, what you got?
Well, I was with Southeast Nebraska Development District on 2 Thursdays ago, so after our board meeting, our previous board meeting. And I guess the main thing that came out of that is they're looking at a change in the bylaws that's actually going to get sent out to all the different participating like counties that we obviously have an interlocal agreement with Send. But basically, so the way that these development districts in some other states do it is they can like own property and develop it with that. But the way the bylaws currently are for our Send is it can't own property to develop it, and they're looking at some bigger projects and starting to expand more and doing just like basically doing more projects than they've been doing in the past because they're all their different house development stuff has been increasing a lot in the last few years. And so, but our bylaws don't allow it. But then there's also nothing in like the state laws or anything about it that say that we can't necessarily. So they're going to be making that change, and we're going to be creating a 501c organization that will actually, it'll just consist of the board of SIND, and then that will basically expand eligibility for different financial resources related to this that like SEND itself is not eligible for. So we'll be getting that probably sometime. I mean, nothing moves fast, but we'll be getting something from them about which specific bylaws changes they want to make, because they have to get that approved by all the different counties in the interlocal agreements. So that might be exciting, because they're looking at a big project in, what's it called? What's the little town? It's not in York County, unfortunately, but maybe in the future, if this project goes well, they'll be doing things like that. But they're building like 7 properties or 7 houses or whatever on this one property, and they're going to be selling them off in a small little town. So it might be kind of cool.
Anything else, Joe?
I don't think so. Oh, it's in Roca, I guess. It is. So,
Roca?
Mhm.
Outside Lincoln.
Yep.
Andy, you got any committee?
Not really committee, but I would invite anyone who would like to, at the conclusion of this meeting, to go across the street and get a sneak peek tour of the new Historical Association building. And I guess I would like to report that we are completely out of the old building, and keys are being collected to turn them over, and there will be a lot of work that needs to be done before that's habitable again. Don't think the building's been touched since the 60s.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Historical.
Exactly. You could say that's one of
Wait
those.
a minute, the sixties aren't really historical.
They are to me.
St. James.
Got everything, Andy?
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Did
I attended the NACO Central District meeting. And we listened to, the 3 commissioners listened to a gentleman that spoke a lot about the district court, is it District 8 court? About how they're making decisions on things. And that's where we need to watch, because some stuff is skipping right past local, state, it's going to district court.
Yeah, and it's in regards to zoning.
It's all zoning, and he said that's where we need to be paying attention to the decisions that they're making there. And one judge is from Iowa, one from Minnesota, and the third one,
I believe from Nebraska.
I think Nebraska. Yes. And they're the 3 judges that are making decisions on things that are coming up with planning and zoning. So you're gonna have to go online and try and find that. And then the other thing was, for region, or for 4 Corners, Randy's on, right? I believe, I can't get confirmation, they won't say yes, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna get a pretty good opioid grant settlement for the program that Laura and Dr. Ottomy wrote up and submitted to Region 5. So neither one will say they've awarded it yet, but they're pretty sure yes. It's a good size. That's it.
So attended the ICDC board meeting last week, and the main part of the discussion there was on the potential of a York Regional Workforce Development Center with Southeast Community College. So it's a pretty cool project that has the potential to come to town. It would, so we have the workforce, the Southeast Community College Workforce Development Center now downtown. This would be expanding upon that, making it more of a regional learning center, including manufacturing, fabrication, automation, technology, and healthcare training, as well as like construction and trades. And so focused on high school students in the region around here, as well as the non-traditional students, or even working with local manufacturers to provide new skills to their current workforce. And so it's still in the development stages, but it is a potential project for our community. I think it would be a nice add, and so hopefully that continues to move forward. Roads department, this morning, we were talking about what we want to do on moving forward with motor grader and whether or not we're going to do a truck and trailer. Regarding the motor grader, Harvey had worked with Gary in the past, kind of looking at source one, thank you. And in doing that, it falls within the statutes, and stop me if I don't say the right thing. But we could provide the specs through Source One to Caterpillar and John Deere. They would provide us the bids, and then we can make a decision from that. Basically, they're still bidding it. We would have the decision of which one to go with, but it just speeds up the timeline. It's not advertised out there for as long and so on. We don't have to go that route, but that is a route that we can go. And so I don't know if this board has opinions on whether or not that's the route we should go. We did also talk to Harvey about putting in a spec for the ability to have drags on the back. Both Cat and John Deere, they don't have a drag kit, but you can spec it out to have the controls in the cab and the connection, the hydraulic connections in the back, so that then we would have that option to put that on there. The other option would be to order it with a ripper attachment. Then your bracketing, the controls and everything are back there. Obviously, we wouldn't use the ripper on daily road maintenance, but could be used in construction. We currently have one motor grader with a ripper, but it would provide us the bracketing for that dragging. So that's an option that we might want to look at when we bid that out as well. Got anything that I missed on that?
No, I think you got it.
So Source One is obviously a state qualified bidding source.
Correct,
Is
yes.
what they are. Because there's other things called like out there, we've used it for the laundry services when we put here, as long as they fit that, then we don't have to go on those. That's fine. Sounds great.
Not anymore.
And then we did talk about it in budget season on last year we did the truck and trailer. We talked about doing that again. Harvey feels if we could start to do it every other there, but he feels that we also need to update the dump trucks and then our plow trucks. And so his recommendation, if we do a truck and trailer this year, then next year we would look at a dump truck. If we start going every other year, that's pushing that out quite a ways. And so he just wants us all to be aware of that as we look at our equipment and how we want to do that.
We are getting a little behind on our dump trucks. So I guess from my seat, knowing what equipment we've got, if I could foresee pushing a truck and trailer off a year, but if we do that, we should do a dump truck this year. I mean, A lot of people see them running up down the roads. They're not cherry pieces of equipment anymore.
Our two newest,
Do we buy a motor grader every year?
Yes. Yes.
So you might skip a year of that in order to help catch up.
And then you always get behind there.
Yeah, you'll get
we
behind
we
anything.
have 14 motor graders.
13 on.
So, you know, if we're doing every one.
year. It's a cost. Cost to do that.
When we heard, earlier this year, when Rex was in here, and we have a backhoe that he was talking about was aged. When we start talking about just a dump truck versus truck and trailer, would there be enough savings if we just went with a dump truck this year that we?
Right.
Not a
that we-
lot.
that-
Yeah,
that
unfortunately,
same
when you
Dump trucks.
start putting the box and the
Add
Right.
the axles, and they're not a cheap buy either. Now there's some stuff we could reuse, like depending on the one we roll out, the plow mount. The plow would be one thing that you wouldn't have to rebuy. The mount, depending on the chassis and configuration, more than likely you're going to be replacing that. Good dump truck's probably going to run you up somewhere 185 to 2. No, that's wrong. It's more than that. Yeah, because the truck and the truck itself wouldn't be much cheaper than buying a truck, and the box is at least 75,000. Because the truck actually will cost you more due to the axles.
So they have to get some prices on it.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'd say the backhoe's been
Right.
a question mark. And we've talked the last couple of years about possibly replacing with a mini and that would be road something, so we can just haul it. So, no, just have to get some prices and see where we go.
Average cost is $190, depending on.
It can go up.
Up to $250, depending on features and models.
You got anything else?
That's all.
That is everything?
All of it.
60 grand range.
Central District, obviously last week, there was 3 of us there. I was unsuccessful getting on the NACO board, which is fine. The gentleman, Bill Mandalay out of Buffalo County was our representative, and he'll continue to represent us, and he does a fine job. He went to the national convention this last year out in Philadelphia, and everything's good. You know, first election ever lost, which is okay too. Next Thursday is legislature forum in Beatrice. I have been on NACO the last couple of years about some kind of legislative introduction to help us with public defender costs or monitoring or something. So John and myself went back and forth a little bit yesterday. He would really like me there to present it. He would present it on my behalf, but he would like me there to present it. When we were out at NACO, it had some traction with some of the people that was there. So maybe, we'll work with that. We'll see what the next week brings. The last Four Corners meeting, I believe I brought this up, but the spirited member is somebody we appoint, and that will be at the end of the year. Ours has been Jim Ulrich that sits on the board. I did reach out to him because he is somebody that's been there. He is interested again. So if anybody else has anybody else they want to nominate for that, sure bring it forward. But we'll sure bring his name forward at the end of this year
Yes.
to get him appointed for 3 more years. Probation building, you brought that up a little bit. I shouldn't say Historical Society / probation building. Probation is chomping at the bit. Brian and Cal went up there, and I haven't heard back from them, but I know there's got to be some paints and carpet. So there's got to be an opening.
There's a door between them.
There's just a door that's blocked at this time. So that's going on. And last thing, I've read it. I talked to Daniel a couple times on the phone. It's harvest time. Be careful.
Yeah.
We see it every year, unfortunately. Read about a death in the paper the other day. There was a gentleman, I believe, up in Madison County that passed away. Be careful. that's really what we want to do. So, Mary, do you have anything, from your
No, other than.
Jamaica's great?
Jamaica's great.
Jamaica's
Yama.
great.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything else? We are.